Now, Carl Morawski has a great channel. I love that channel, and he is a good friend of mine, but what some of you might not know is that Carl and I have an ongoing beef, and that beef is with the humble loafer. Carl, on one hand, thinks they are hideous, while I think they are great. So today is my personal video to Carl Morawski and is a personal love letter to the best shoe in the world, the loafer. All right, so today is a video about why loafers are great. And typical to these type of videos, I'm gonna go a little bit into the history and the context, how they're made, what to look for, and then I'm gonna give some of my best choices here. But I'm gonna be doing something a little bit different here too. I'm gonna give each one a Carl rating, 1 to 5 Carls, based on what I think Carl should think about these loafers. Now, I know Carl wants to give all of these a 1, but he can't do that because this is not his video. But I think at the end of the video, you'll find a few loafers that I think Carl should like. And dare I say, he should love. And I saved the best one for last, so stay tuned. And if you like these type of videos, definitely subscribe down below. I think you really love it here. If you like fashion, EDC, anything in between, I think you really like it here. I like to have fun on this channel, so that's what we're gonna do today. And for your convenience, I put some links down below to all of the shoes listed here. Those are affiliate links, and they will help out the channel anytime you buy through those, and I always appreciate that, so thank you so much. So why don't you just take a look down below and see if you like anything. First, let's start about what I love about loafers. I think loafers are great for anyone who loves supremely comfortable shoes. These are just slip-on shoes. There's no laces to tie, and they look good with virtually anything. You can wear loafers to the pool or with a suit or anything in between. But I think they really hit their stride in that middle ground of maybe smart casual, where you're dressing up a little bit, but you're not like super dressy. And there is a lot of variation with loafers. Every company sells loafers and varieties of different loafers. So today we're gonna be talking about a lot of that. So let's get a little bit into the history of the loafer. Now, there seems to be 2 different origin stories for the loafer, and I think both of these may be true at the same time. The first one is from a shoe company in London called Wildsmith, and they made some custom shoes for King George VI in 1926. These are made to be a more casual country house style shoe, and these shoes are still prevalent today, and we'll get on that style in just a minute. Now, the next origin story is a little bit closer to home. Norwegian shoemaker Niels Gregorsen Taranger made his shoes around 1930. He was inspired by Native American shoes by the Iroquois tribe and designed his shoes with a moccasin-style construction. He named his shoes after his hometown in Norway, the Orland shoe. They began exporting them to America, where other shoe companies tried to mimic the success of the Orland shoe, so the Spalding Family Shoe Company made their version of the shoe and called it the loafer, named after the Norwegian cattle farmers in the cattle loafing regions of Norway. Then in 1934, G.H. Bass made their version of the loafer and called it the Norwegian. Then it was later shortened to the Weegian. They altered theirs to have a slightly larger cutout on the saddle, and though no one really knows why, the term penny loafers started to pop up around this style of shoe, because you could fit a penny in the cutout. I did that. And during the 50s and 60s, a lot of the different styles of loafers were originated. So there's different types of loafers that are still around, and some that are maybe less popular, but I'll go over some of the more common ones that you'll see around. One is the Wildsmith loafer that I mentioned before. These are very sleek. They have a cutout split in the front. That immediately kind of identifies that these are Wildsmith loafers. Penny loafers obviously have the moccasin construction, the wider cutout on the saddle there. And then horse bit loafers were invented by Gucci in 1953, and they have a little horse bit or something that looks like a horse bit on the front saddle. And the design of these was further kind of refined and slimmed down. Then you find the tasseled loafer, which was invented by Alden Brothers and Brooke Brothers, and of course they have tassels on the front. Then you have Venetian loafers, and many times Venetian loafers look very similar to either style loafer, but they'll just have a plain front instead of a reinforced saddle on the front. All right, now let's talk about quality, things to look for. As with any shoe, what you want to look for are good leathers, good construction, and good welt. what type of leather they're using, where the shoes are made. Are they made by hand? Are they lined? Do they have a removable insole? And what type of welt are they using? A Goodyear welt, which is more water resistant, or a Blake stitch, which feels more broken in. All right, and with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and get to some choices of some great loafers that I can really recommend. We're going to convince Carl, okay? So let's go ahead and get to the first one here. The first one that we're going to be talking about is the B52 loafer by Russell Moccasin. Now, Russell Moccasin is a very old shoe company that started in 1898, and they've been making handmade shoes in Berlin, Wisconsin since then. I'm only just now finding out about them, but they make really super high quality shoes. Their aesthetic kind of leans more into that kind of humble origin, hunting, fishing, that type of thing. They have a ready-made collection of shoes and boots, and then they have a made-to-order collection as well. And their kind of specialization is that moccasin construction that you find with the original G.H. Bass penny loafer type of shoe. At a certain point in time, the original owner of Russell Moccasin eventually died, and then the company itself was owned by G.H. Bass. Needless to say, they really inspired this loafer design within Russell Moccasin, and these were made in 1952, hence the name. And I've already shown these to Carl. I had to show Carl a little sneak peek, kind of sneak it in after I showed him a wallet. These are easily some of the best quality shoes that I have ever owned. These, to me, are a grail piece. So some of the specs here, these shoes are made with a full grain walnut timberjack leather. It's a water resistant leather. It's made as a single vamp moccasin on their 77 last. They say it has boot thickness leather. It's lined with pigskin. It has a Goodyear welt. They use an imported day-night rubber sole from the United Kingdom. It has a stacked leather heel, double stack midsole. The insole is sewn in, and one unique feature that it has a hand-sewn overlap seam that adds structure and water resistance. This is handmade in Wisconsin. They offer this in one color, their walnut timberjack, and size is in size 10D. Now these are made to order, so it takes about 8 to 12 weeks for this to arrive at your door. And to get the right size, the sizing is a little bit tricky here. For all these shoes that I'm going to be mentioning, I'm 11.5 on a Brannock device, and so I got all my shoes based on that measurement. This shoe is a size 10, so I had to size 1.5 sizes down, and I used the app that they have to kind of measure my foot to get the right size, and that was actually perfect. These shoes fit absolutely amazing. These are incredible. They're perfectly snug. The look is beefy and chunky, but still look on the normal side, which I think is pretty cool. These are thicker and taller than other loafer shoes of this type, but they still look really cool. The leather is exceptional and feels soft but really thick, and I love the burnt caramel color on this leather, and it does seem like it has a little bit of pull-up on this. Now these are pretty stiff out of the box, I will say that. These are pretty thick. I mean, they have boot leather on here, and the last is a Goodyear welt, so these are going to need some breaking in time, but I think these will break in pretty well. Even though I just got these, I don't really have a lot of time with them yet. I think they're absolutely phenomenal, and I can't wait to break them in and just get them just perfectly pliable. I'll be honest, these are easily some of the best shoes that I've ever gotten. These are an absolute grail piece for me. These will last the rest of my life, and I'll pass these down to my son and then to my son's son's son. I think these shoes will last for decades to come. So for my Carl rating here, I've got to give these 5 Carls. I think these are easily going to be the one shoe that I think Carl has to admit are great. I know he likes Russell Moccasins, and besides, these are just like the boots, just without the shaft. All right, next loafers on the list here are the Travel Penny Loafers by Grant Stone. Now, Grant Stone is a company that I've mentioned a lot on the channel, and truthfully, I think they may be my favorite shoe company of all time. I really love their shoes. They really resonate with me. I think they fit great. The quality is impeccable. Even though they're still on the high side, I think the price for what you get is a steal. And part of that value comes from the fact that these are made in China, and you would never know that if you just looked at the shoes by themselves. Now, I used to have a pair of these travel loafers a while back, but I had them in a blue leather and it just wouldn't match with anything that I had. Today though, I went with a different color. It's a dark brown, what they call tobacco calf. But they have a ton of colors, so you can get some that are suede or more casual leather. They even have like kudu and kangaroo and things like that. And I have a few different pairs of Grant Stone, so I've tried a lot of their different leathers and they're all great. Well, maybe not their blue leather. Now these are their penny loafers, but they also have a tassel loafer as well. And I almost got that, but it was accidentally switched out. Now these penny loafers are kind of a style that's in between a classic Wildsmith loafer and a penny loafer as well, kind of in between there. Now these are made with Italian vegetable tanned calf leather. It's Goodyear welt construction, a 360-degree welt, leather outsole. It's on what they call their Alexander last. It has hand-sewn mock toe stitching. It has a full-grain kip leather lining, vegetable tanned leather insole, cork filler, steel shank. The color is tobacco calf. These are made in China, and the size is 11D. Now again, no surprise here, I love these shoes. I think they're absolutely fantastic, and these obviously have a more dressy look to them. They're a bit more dark, they're shiny. The sizing on this I think is perfect. So for me, sizing half a size down is great. They're a little snug, but there's a little bit of slip on there, but that's really what I like. Definitely size down a half size. I love the last on this as well. Grant Stone has a wider toe box that I think is absolutely the best. It's so incredibly comfortable for this style and easy to wear at any time. Grant Stone, still probably my favorite. These look great with anything. They're gonna last forever. They're super high quality. They're comfortable. They're great value. I love them. My Carl rating here, I'm gonna have to give this a 4 out of 5 Carls. I know Carl really likes Grant Stone a lot, so that is one thing going for it. But I have to knock it down 1 star because these aren't green. If they were green, he would get 5 stars out of this. All right, next we're gonna go with the Montery loafer by Warfield and Grand. Now, Warfield and Grand is a newer company for me. They mix American and European styles and influences in their shoe line. Both their materials and their production all have that kind of same mixture. Now, they have several different styles of loafers. These Monterys are a very sleek, low-profile loafer. And I actually had to do a double take on the price because these are a steal of a good deal right now. And I think for a style of these, I think these are kind of an Italian interpretation of what a Wildsmith loafer would be. Now, these use a full-grain leather upper. They have a 100% cow leather lining. They have a padded leather insole with arch support, a leather outsole, Blake stitch construction. The color is cognac. These are made in Europe and the size is 11.5. Now I think these are really cool, kind of modern New York City or Italian style loafer here. The size is a little bit roomy and I do have a little bit of room on the inside, but I'm not sure if going down a half size would be maybe too much here. Maybe it would, I'm not sure. And these are also on the narrow side, so if you have a wider foot, definitely keep that in mind. But one thing I like about these is they're super comfortable, and the Blake stitch right away makes these shoes feel broken in, which I love. I love the color on these and the way that it has almost a stained look. And one small detail is that I love that there's a beveled edge on the outsole there. It's subtle, but it slims down the look just a little bit. And I think these are great as more of a dressier loafer option here. They're essentially Italian leather shoes for less than $200, which is insane. I love these. I think they look great, especially with maybe nicer clothes. You probably can't wear these for casual stuff, but that's okay. Everyone needs a nice pair of loafers. So my final Carl rating here, I'm gonna have to give this 3 Carls. I can already hear him in my head. I know what he's gonna say about these, but don't listen to the Carls in your head. Listen to the Dave in your heart. Do the right thing. All right, next are the Loafers by Taylor Stitch. Now, Taylor Stitch obviously is a company that I've mentioned a lot in the channel, and that's for good reason. I think they have great clothes. But one thing that you might not know is that they have really great shoes as well. I have a few pairs here, and they're all incredible, including these loafers. Now, these loafers take more inspiration from G.H. Bass style loafers, a classic penny loafers. But of course, Taylor Stitch adds their own twists and turns on this and makes it a little bit more rugged. And again, I think they knocked it out of the park with these shoes. I think they look great. They're perfectly casual and they go with anything. And that suede is butter. Now these are made with a 4-ounce weatherproof suede. They have a Goodyear welt construction, a Vibram mini lug sole. They have a pigskin lining, removable insole. These are made in Leon, Mexico. They come in one color, tan suede, and the size is 11.5. Now wherever Taylor Stitch is getting their suede, it is always fire. And these are no exception. Now I haven't tested how weatherproof these are, and I'm not going to tempt fate, but I really love these a lot. They're so comfortable. Now one thing that I will say is that the fit is too large. I got these in 11.5. I would at least go down a half size, maybe a whole size on these. These slip off my heel quite a bit. Now, these have removable insoles, which I actually really like with loafers. So I can put a different type of insole in there. If you have certain needs with your feet, or you need maybe high arch support or different orthotics, you can put that in here, which I like. And also too, you can kind of customize the fit with your insole too, which is great. So even though these don't fit, if I get a different higher insole, that'll actually make my foot fit in there a little bit tighter. I love the mini lug sole on this. It's a little bit overkill for loafers, but I think it looks so cool and it will last a long time and take a long time to wear down. And these are super comfortable, as you can guess. The suede is buttery soft and feels like a sock. And though I always appreciate Goodyear welts, I think with this suede, I would actually rather have a Blake stitch. I think it would give it a little bit more flexibility and give in more of an organic way. The soft suede with the hard Goodyear welt is a little bit different, so it's a little bit weird kind of walking in them. But still, I can't complain too much because I think these are great. And I know Carl likes Taylor Stitch, so I think he'll like these too. These get a 4 out of 5 Carls. Next, I have 3 shoes from Jay Butler. Now, Jay Butler is a company that makes a lot of different style loafers. They have a few different styles and many different colors and leathers of their loafers. Their loafers generally look more like a classic moccasin style construction of loafer, but with a few noticeable tweaks here and there. The first thing is their vamp is shorter and it tapers down towards the toe. This gives it a much more casual look, and I think if you like to wear no socks with loafers, don't do that, by the way. Wear no-show socks. But if you like that look, then I think you'll really like Jay Butler's loafers here. I have 3 here. I have their Cromwell penny loafer, their Millbank bit loafer, and their Alfred driving loafer. Now, some of the specs for the Cromwell and the Millbank here, they have hand-sewn full-grain leather, they're leather-lined, they have a leather outsole, these are Blake stitched, they have a padded insole with arch support, they have a moccasin construction, the Cromwells are medium brown, and the Millbank bit loafers have a burgundy pull-up leather. The Millbank has a gold-tone bit, the Cromwell has a beef roll sewn strap, and the sizing on the Cromwell and the Millbank are both 11.5. Now, the Alfred driving loafer has rubber nub soles, they're hand-sewn suede, they have a penny strap, the color is called sand suede, and they come in whole sizes only, and this is a size 12. First, the Cromwell. Now, this is a great casual loafer. It's perfectly paired with shorts. The leather seems nice, and so does the construction as well. These don't really look like they would dress up as well as other options, but that might not be something you need. The fit on these is okay. I think you should probably size down a half size for the best results. Now, the Millbank. These are definitely an acquired taste. Some will love these immediately and use these as a flex piece. The leather on these is superb. I love that burgundy, beautiful pull-up leather. It's going to break in and change color around the creases. I think these are super cool, and they have a kind of cool sound to them whenever you walk around like you have spurs on your boots. The fit is the same as a Cromwell. I think these fit okay, but go down a half size and you get a better fit. Now, the Alfred. In general, I like driving loafers for running errands and driving, and I think these are perfect for that. The suede seems nice. The rubber nubs tend to wear down pretty quickly in my experience, but the one thing I don't like about this is the size is just too big. I would easily go down to your nearest size. But they look pretty cool and they're comfortable and they are great for driving, so that's a big plus for it. Overall, I love Jay Butler shoes. I think they have a really cool Ralph Lauren type of look and appeal to their loafers here, which I think is pretty neat. They're perfectly casual, and that may be it, but I think that's really good if you're looking for that type of thing. They're very unique, and they have so much style, and they are well made, so I really like them. But I have to give this to Carl's because I know how much Carl hates ankles. I'm just making that up. All right, next is the Wilson loafer by Helm. Now, Helm is a company that I've mentioned before. I have a deep dive that goes more in depth about Helm. I often mention them as kind of a value brand, but that kind of doesn't do them justice. They have really great high quality shoes that just happen to be at a great price. But these Wilson shoes are kind of a Venetian style loafer, and they are so good. Essentially, these are like penny loafers, but without the saddle on the front. So it has a kind of plain vamp, smooth vamp on there, and that kind of almost gives it a kind of a blank canvas for shoes. It makes it easy to match and pair with anything. And another thing I love about Helm, they mention all of their quality points on their website, everything, and it's all great. So these are made with a Krumenauer leather shell, they're leather lined, they have a white rubber midsole, a Denver rubber sole with stacked leather heel, these are Blake stitched, they have a stitched down insole that is super comfortable. These are made in Brazil, the color is teak, and the size is 11. Now, I'm a huge fan of these loafers. I love the plain front. I love that it kind of still looks like a penny loafer, but just a little bit more sleek. The sizing of this does run large, so even though I did go down a half size, I do still have quite a bit of room, so I would probably suggest going down a whole size and you get a better fit. I love the leather on this. It's easily one of my favorite leather and color combinations. It looks so classy, and it'll break in and change color from the leather pull-up. Though I don't think this would go well with any suit, these can still be dressed up pretty well and are very versatile. But they also have the look and feel of high-quality shoes. When you get these in your hands, you just know they are high quality, even without knowing the quality points. You just know they are well made, and that says a lot. So these get 4 Carls. I know how much Carl loves leather, and he hates pennies, so perfect. Next are the slip-on loafers by Amberjack. Now, Amberjack is a relatively new shoe company out there, and they claim to have the world's most comfortable dress shoes, and they might be right. They thought about all the choke points for comfort and set out to change all of those. Now, this is a bit of a wild card here because these shoes don't really have a stitchable welt. You can't really resole these later on. These are a little bit more of a modern type of shoe, and they're not traditional at all. But for some people, you're gonna love that, I know. Now, these are their slip-on shoe, but they also have a loafer as well, and there's only kind of a couple of minor little differences between the two. I would say these resemble the Venetian loafer, but modernized at every single point. So these are made with an A-grade full-grain leather. They have a sheepskin lining. They have a dual-function athletic outsole, a removable heat-activated insole. There's a pull tab on the back. These are made in Portugal. The color is obsidian, and the size is 11.5. Now, right away, these are very comfortable. They really are. And the insole is removable, so you can actually put in your favorite insole if you want to. But the standard insole that is in there is super comfortable and honestly much better than some of the insoles from some of these more expensive brands. I would say the sizing is pretty much right on the money. These are snug, maybe on the very edge of being too snug, but I think they still fit really good. Now, they sent me black, and black would not be my first choice. I think their other colors look a lot better than the black, honestly. I think these are maybe a little bit more casual, and though I really wouldn't wear this with a suit, I don't think it would really work for that. I think these do work well for dressing up to a certain degree. But if you can wear shoes like this in the workplace, I want to know where you work because these are great. I would say go for it. These are super comfortable. They're lightweight, very flexible right away, and though you can't really resole these, I think that these will last for a while. And I'm going to find out because I'm going to give these to my son. He's going to wear them in school, and we're going to get the long-term torture test from a kid. More on that to come. But these are great shoes if you want something that is super comfortable. And if you need a special orthotic that you can fit in a shoe, but you want dress shoes, these are perfect for that. Now, as far as Carl's, I'm going to have to give these to Carl's. I know he would definitely not like the way these look, but he couldn't deny that these are comfortable. He would at least say that. Next are the M08 loafers by Majordome. Now these, for me, are another Grail piece shoe in my collection. These are absolutely incredible. Now, Majordome is a Swiss shoe company that started in 2012, and they wanted to make high quality, competitively priced, and innovative shoes. And they have both a custom line and a ready-to-wear made line, and these shoes are from their ready-to-wear line. Now, I first heard of Majordome from their collaboration with Michael Herklotz from Ferriotego. They made their Puro loafer, and it was incredible. I saw it and I was like, wow, that is an incredible looking loafer. Now, the loafers that I got are similar in style to that. These are their M08 penny loafer, and they're easily the most well-made, refined, beautiful penny loafers that I have ever tried. These are very modern loafers that take cues from different loafer styles. These are made with a thick Spanish suede. It has an apron front. It has an elongated hexagonal cutout on the saddle. These have a Goodyear welt, a leather outsole, a leather lining. It has a comfort last with a round toe. These are made in Spain. The color is tobacco brown, and the size is size 10. These are incredible shoes. I love these shoes. I love the styling. It's so cool and modern and different. What a shoe. Now, these are not cheap shoes. These are very expensive. I understand that. But for what you get here, I think the price is very fair. The quality and the fit and the look are easily top tier. Now, the sizing seems a little bit off at first, getting a size 10, but then later I looked it up and they use UK sizing, and then they run half a size large. So for an American, go 1.5 sizes down, and that should be perfect. All that to say, these fit perfectly. It's an incredible fit. I love the suede on this. It feels substantial, but yet very pliable and soft at the same time. And I am smitten by this color. These shoes are very similar to the Puro loafer that I mentioned earlier. It's the same color as the Puro, but the Puro loafer has a cigar band cutout on the front instead of the elongated hexagon. There's little things on this that really impress me, like the tight stitch density, or the pliable saddle, or the hexagon cutout, or the apron front, and the immaculate leather sole on this. There's loads of tiny details and quality exuding from every inch. These are easily top of the food chain loafers. Just incredible. So for rating, I would say Carl's going to give this 4 Carls because even he would recognize how good of a quality these shoes are. That's what I tell myself. All right, my last choice here, certainly not least, are the Country Club Driver 2.0 by Floafers. And this is truly a wild card choice. Floafers are definitely one of a kind. The best way that I can describe Floafers is if Crocs and driving loafers had a baby, this is what you would get. They look very much like driving loafers, but they're made of a very durable foam material that floats in water. And I don't know what to think of these, to be honest. I don't know if I think these are hideous or if I really genuinely respect their perspective. But at the very least, these are at least as functional as they claim. Now, these are the 2.0 version, and that implies that there's at least a 1.0 and there's also a 3.0. But truthfully, I don't really know what the difference in any of these is. I think it might just be the colors. It looks like all the features of these shoes are exactly the same. Now, these are made with an EVA foam upper, lining, and insole. It has ventilation holes throughout. They are antimicrobial, easy to clean. They have quote-unquote massage pods in the footbed with arch support. It molds to your foot. They're non-slip. They have a scuff-proof sole. They're waterproof and they float. They're made in China. The color of this is bright white with harbor mist gray, and these are size 12. And what I think is really funny about these shoes is that these have a fake stitching that's molded into the foam around the shoes. Really weird. What I find actually really great about these shoes is that these are the best Croc killer type of shoes out there, I think. It gives the same convenience and function of Crocs, but with a better aesthetic. Now, the fit runs large and they only run full sizes as well. So if you're in between sizes like I am, you might not be able to find the best fit. Now, even though these run a little bit large, they're still not that bad as far as fit. They do fit a little bit roomy, but I'm okay with that with these shoes at the very least because they're not made of leather, so they're not going to really stretch any. At least I don't think that. But if you use these as boat shoes or by the pool or at the beach or as water shoes, the extra room actually makes sense. They're easy to slip on and off, and they're actually very comfortable. They feel nice underfoot, though they do have a slight greasy feel to them. You know, I want to hate these. These have a look only a Croc mother could really love. But truthfully, I think they're very functional and they serve a good purpose for what they do as those kind of water type of shoes, boat shoes, non-slip shoes, beach shoes, that type of thing. And much better than the alternative, which are either flip-flops or Crocs. So at the end of the day, they're no Grant Stone or Russell Moccasin by any stretch, but they do exactly what they say they're gonna do, and I can recommend them for at least their function alone. And this easily gets a 1 Carl. Carl will give this 1 star, so 1 Carl here, easy. And Carl, I hope you liked all these suggestions. I can send you as many as you want, by the way. I can send you some loafers. You want the Floafers? I really appreciate you and appreciate your perspective. Thank you so much, bud. And thank you for watching, Carl. For everyone else, if you like this, definitely go and check them out below. If you want to go see why Chelsea boots, go up there. And if you want to go see a video on why cowboy boots, you can go up there. Thank you again, everyone. I'll see you next time. I'm Dave with Peace Made Reviews. Bye.